Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on the first edition of the English News for 2025 here on Rwanda Television. We are glad to have you with us. My name is Olivnete, and we'll go straight to the news in details. Rwanda has been ranked number one of the safest countries in Africa due to its strong security and adherence to the rule of law Index 2024. William Evans has more on this.
This report indicated that good governance, respect for human rights, and fair enforcement of laws contribute significantly to maintaining peace and security for citizens. Beyond the report, locals and foreigners that we spoke to also associated themselves with the outcomes of this report.
The security is there because even foreigners today visit and go, but some come to stay here permanently.
Yeah, I feel secure, yeah. And because also what we see on television about what's happened over here. So you have something in your mind. And I was really overwhelmed how well organized it is.
Owing to good security, Chuzo Emi, a businessman, says that doing business in Rwanda is possible, while Jean Bosco, a lawyer, attributes the good security to good governance, planning, and Rwandans opting for homegrown solutions.
When it comes to security, security is everything in the business. So that's why you get investors, that's why you get customers, because they trust your country. So my country, when I mean Rwanda, I would rank it as a first either in the world, because I can do business anytime. I can even leave my company open because I trust my people that are, being here, watching over my business, and my employees, plus myself.
Today, when you look at those rankings being put at the first in the African continent, to be very honest, all this is about good leadership, it's about strategies, it's about planning, and it's about the Rwandan people themselves finding solutions to their own problems without wanting to rely on any other foreign support. Because I think we really worked at Gacaca courts. Look at Gacaca courts. They are not only delivering expeditious justice, but also reconciliatory justice. Which other country has passed through the problems that Rwanda had could think about such a strategy of bringing traditional courts and put them in a situation whereby they have to be modernized and hear cases of genocide with the mission of reconciling the offenders and the victims, at the same time providing justice. So this is something very huge that comes from a strategic guidance and strategic leadership that unites Rwandans and fights for their reconciliation and justice at the same time.
Factor 5 of the World Justice Project, Rule of Law Index, measured how well a society ensures the security of persons and property, where Rwanda came number 1 out of 34 countries in the region and 26th out of 142 countries globally. William Evans, Mtawazi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Evans, for the detailed report. Now moving ahead, consumers and food traders in Kigali and its surrounding areas report a positive start to the year with an increase in supplies and a drop in prices for some items, including Irish potatoes. However, many find purchasing meat challenging due to its price spike since Christmas. William Evans once more.
In many parts of Kigali, work started late, with some non-food stores remaining closed. Shoppers and traders attribute this to the New Year's Eve celebrations, noting that many people stayed up late, either working or engaging in other activities, leaving them too fatigued to start work on time.
Yeah, because yesterday we worked long, and then we stayed here long, and after we went out for the celebration, the fireworks. So our clients are sleeping in the morning, and we have to sleep. Now when we wake up, they are coming. We are expecting them.
Meanwhile, vendors of raw and cooked foods operated as usual, with some reporting an increase in customers, driven by family gatherings and shared meal plans. For example, by this hour, I would usually have sold 2.5 tons, but today I succeeded in selling over 3 tons. During this holiday season, people mainly shop for meat, ingredients, and bread as they spend time at home. Additionally, drinks are also a popular item on their shopping lists. Food and grocery retailers reported a positive start of the year, although meat prices remain higher than usual in some areas. Last year was expensive overall. However, When it comes to meat, we are always prepared for higher prices, but they are currently even higher than they were last year. Online services and passengers of public transport within the city center and its surroundings operated as usual, though with a reduced number of customers. In the past, we faced challenges with transportation because of infrastructure, such as bridges, had not yet been built. Now that these structures are in place, we no longer experience a shortage of vehicles or transport. Yes, we have clients, but not as many as yesterday. We are very busy delivering goods in preparation for the new year. Today, I suppose people are resting, but we still have a few deliveries to make. Most customers at the market opted for Irish potatoes, which are reportedly selling better than other food items. However, meat vendors still manage to attract a steady stream of customers despite their high prices. William Evans, Mtabazi, RwandaTV News.
Moving ahead, in Rwanda's national parks, including Akagera National Park, tour guides play a vital role in conserving the biodiversity within these protected areas. They take pride in their work, knowing they are promoting their country's natural heritage. Nara Gladys takes us through.
These guides are dedicated to their profession, contributing significantly to the park's development and the preservation of its ecosystems. Their commitment is evident in their daily interactions with tourists, where they share their extensive knowledge and passion for wildlife conservation.
Ni iby'agaciro gakomeye kubona tubasha gutwara abakerarugendo tukabashimisha.
It is immensely rewarding to assist tourists visiting Rwanda, ensuring they enjoy their travels and return home with a positive impression for our country. Often they encourage others from their homelands to visit Rwanda as well. I take great pride in playing a vital role in promoting my country internationally, contributing to the increase in the tourism.
Always when I'm standing in this position, I'm not working as me, as Penina. I'm working as country, park, and always in the African as a continent. Always when I'm doing long things, I know all the continent has a problem, all the countries has a problem. I'm just encouraging everyone and always tell to everybody it's better to do better things than not you as you do it as a country, and always in the African as a continent. Always when I'm doing long things, I know all the continent has a problem, all the countries has a problem. I'm just encouraging everyone and always tell to everybody it's better to do better things than not you as you do it as a country or as a continent. This is a passionate thing. If you don't have passion, you cannot spend a time in this field, which means let me tell you something for me, because me, I'm already passionate for this, because always when I be, even in the village, I'm always looking in the air. I'm very passionate for the birds.
Do you know how we work in this park? So we started by learning animal behavior. So that's how we work with animals, because as long as you don't learn animal behaviors, you cannot know how you can behave in front of them, because sometimes some animals can attack you. But when you know their behavior, you can know that this one is angry or is not angry. So that's how we chill with them in the nature. With a lot of people, we feel like we are ambassadors, because we know that those people who are coming out of our country, so they are looking at us. What we will give them is what will go in their mind. So that's why we are here as ambassadors of the country and ambassadors of ourselves. Because as long as we give them best information, because we are interpreters, we are not teachers, we interpret what we are seeing. So as long as we give them more information about the nature, about the country, and how our country works, so we will go with them in their mind. So we are here as ambassadors of our country.
Tourists to Akagera National Park often commend the guides for their dedication and the warm hospitality they provide. This positive feedback reflects the guides' enthusiasm and the comprehensive training they undergo to ensure a memorable experience for tourists. We visited Rwanda with a perfect guide. He was enthusiastic and diligent, providing clear explanations that sparked our curiosity to learn even more. As we traveled, fishermen sang along the way, enhancing the enjoyment of our journey. We are very grateful for their dedication to making our trip delightful and for their warm hospitality. The park's management acknowledges the indispensable role of tour guides in its operations. Their efforts not only enhance the tourist experience but also contribute to the park's sustainability and the well-being of surrounding communities.
Abagidi bayobora abashyitsi bacu badusura ni ikintu twishimira kuba tubafite kubera ko
We appreciate having tour guides who assist our tourists in visiting the park. They help tourists have a memorable experience at Akagera National Park by sharing its history and advising on appropriate behavior when encountering animals to ensure safety.
ndetse bakoresha uburyo bwose umuturiste uri kumwe nabo adahura n'ikibazo na kimwe ari muri park.
Currently, Akagera National Park employs approximately 35 permanent tour guides. Additionally, there are guides from the Community Freelance Guide Program, an initiative that supports local communities by providing employment opportunities and promoting sustainable livelihoods. Through their work, these guides help raise awareness about the importance of biodiversity conservation and showcase the rich natural beauty of Rwanda to the world. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Enora, for the details. Now, traders who import goods through online platforms report fraudulent activities, with some losing money or receiving products that differ from what they ordered and paid for. We have details.
The year 2024 has seen traders celebrating significant growth in the sector, as many have expanded their reach to industrialized countries across various continents. However, despite utilizing remote technology for ordering goods and making payments, some have fallen victim to fraud on multiple occasions and in different countries. I was able to receive compensation for all the money that was taken from me, except for $30,000, and this is all thanks to the good governance in our country. The embassy of the country where the fraud occurred was very supportive and assisted us greatly. In other case, I lost $32,000, and that case is still ongoing. However, we have filed a complaint with the embassy of that country here in Kigali, and they are actively following up on it. I believe it will be resolved.
Ndambere byajyaga bibaho rimwe na rimwe Dubai aho washobora ku kintu kireba wazajya kureba ugasanga.
Sometimes it would happen in Dubai where I would purchase something online, but when it arrived, I found that the quality was not the same as what I had bought. I eventually decided to stop purchasing from the Dubai market. If you don't carefully research before buying things online, you can end up being scammed. In a meeting with importers, the Minister of Trade and Industry emphasized the need for greater efforts to combat fraudulent activities, urging them to collaborate with the Rwandan embassies in those countries. Importers were also advised to formalize transactions by signing contracts with suppliers. Dr. Joseph Akumunu, the chairperson of the Association of Importers and Traders, confirmed that they have already assisted numerous victims of fraud. He also highlighted that Rwandan embassies in the countries where these incidents have occurred are actively helping to seek redress.
Kwakiramo ibirego bigiye bitandukanye aho nk'abacuruzi bakura raw materials yo mu Bushinwa.
We have received numerous complaints regarding the increasing prevalence of fraudulent activities and scams, particularly in the procurement of raw materials. Often orders are placed, but the items received are not what was originally requested. We are closely working with Rwanda's logistics sector to address this issue and ensure that qualified professionals are involved in the market. Additionally, government authorities, particularly embassies, are assisting us in resolving these matters. Some traders have suffered losses ranging from 300,000 to even $1 billion, with embassies stepping in to help resolve such cases. Many incidents of this nature have already been successfully addressed. A more sustainable solution would be to implement contracts and provide recourse in the event of issues like this. According to data from the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, the total value of trade activities in the country during the second quarter of 2024 reached beyond 2 million, marking a 14.67% increase compared to the same quarter in 2023.
You're still watching RTV News. Now let's continue with matters beyond the borders of Rwanda. Political analysts predict major shifts at the U.S. Department of Education following Trump's appointment of former wrestling executive to lead the agency. VOA has more.
During President-elect Donald Trump's first term as president, Linda McMahon led the U.S. Small Business Administration. Trump's choice for the Department of Education chief has served as a board member at a private college and briefly on a state board of education. Some analysts are worried.
She certainly doesn't have much relevant experience in education, either at the K-12 or higher education level, relative to previous education secretaries.
But many conservative analysts say she'll do well at streamlining the department and limiting its authority, which is what they want.
The Department of Education does not need to be run by an educator. I believe we do need an experienced executive, someone who knows how to manage people, get things done, hold people accountable, understand results and reporting of results.
The department's responsibilities include managing federal student loan and grant programs for higher education, overseeing civil rights, and distributing funds for low-income students. Some educators worry public education will be at risk under a Trump administration and that the most vulnerable students will suffer.
Students with disabilities are LGBTQ+ students, are Black, Brown, and Indigenous students, are students living in poverty, making higher education even more expensive and further out of the reach of middle-class families.
Many conservatives say the department is bureaucratic and ineffective and should be abolished entirely. That's not likely, but change is coming, say analysts from both sides of the political aisle.
What I see happening over the next 4 years is really a slimming down of the department substantially and really getting the federal government out of the business of education as much as possible.
Incoming Trump administration, I think, believes in cutting back a lot of the federal funding across all programs.
Both sides may agree on promoting technical education as an alternative to a traditional university.
What a lot of high school graduates, what a lot of workers want, is less a four-year college degree and more the kind of training that's going to help them get better jobs, that's going to help them have more successful lives. Right now, it can be really difficult to use a lot of federal support for higher education at some of these programs.
A Republican-led education department can also be expected to attempt rolling back policies promoted by current President Joe Biden, such as protections for transgender students.
The department has weighed in very heavily on gender disputes in America's schools, encouraging them to adopt policies which emphasize gender rather than biological sex. I think a Trump administration is likely to sharply reverse directions on all of this.
McMahon will need to be approved by the Senate. Analysts expect she will be, with a Republican majority and more controversial cabinet picks for them to consider. Laurel Bowman, VOA News, Washington.
To other matters, grieving relatives of people killed in the plane crash in South Korea visited the site to pay respects to their loved ones on New Year's Day, and officials said that they had identified all 179 bodies. VOA once more. And this story brings us to the end of today's bulletin. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the entire news team, we wish you a prosperous new year. Stay safe and take care.